Anything else?
I'm actually with him as well.
All right.
So, I just had a question about highest excitement.
Yes.
Could you just define it real quick before I ask my question?
Well,
What
again,
exactly
when we
does it-
say highest excitement, when we say passion, we're talking about that bodily sensation that is a recognition of the vibrational frequency of your true essential self that comes in a form where you are so engaged with something, so focused, feeling so creative with it, feeling so expressive with it, you can think of nothing else but that thing at that moment. Will that do?
Yeah, that's fine. So what if you following your highest excitement leads to make other people sad or upset?
Can't.
Why not?
Because they get to choose how they can experience themselves based on what it is you may choose to do that might be representative of your truth.
So what if they're choosing to be sad?
Well, you can let them know they don't have to, but you also have to let them choose that if they insist on doing so. If you know that you are not deliberately doing something that is out of alignment, out of integrity, and they still choose to react negatively to the idea of your excitement and your truth, if that's what it truly is, if you're being honest within yourself about it, then you have to allow them the opportunity to know that they can change, or allow them the opportunity to not change. Because many times people on your planet, when they see someone who is living their joy, if they have a belief within themselves that that's not something that they have the ability to do, and they're afraid to look at the belief within themselves, they'll go into denial that they have such a belief because they're afraid to look at it, and they'll just project onto you the resentment for reminding them that they have the ability they don't believe they have.
But does that mean that you're acting in self-interest? And if you are,
Does what mean that?
If you're following your highest excitement, does that mean you're selfish? And then
no.
But then
of course not.
What if it's still resulting to a net negative? What if?
Again, understand the definition. If you are being honest about what your excitement is, and it's not simply your anxiety being disguised as excitement, you clear?
Mm-hmm.
And it's truly who you are, then it is, in a sense, in your self-interest, but it's not selfish. Because being your true self is the most selfless thing you can do for someone else, because then they get to know who you are and whether or not they want to choose to be in a relationship with who you actually are. If they choose to feel that your reflection of your truth is something that they can't handle, that's their choice. But you have to be clear within yourself that you're not out of integrity by what it is you're choosing to do, and that it is truly a representation of your actual vibrational essence, your passion, your excitement, your truth. And that's okay that it is for yourself, because if you're not yourself, how can you help anyone else anyway? Yes? How can you be of service to others if you are not first servicing yourself? If you're not yourself, you can't help anyone.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But I will also point out the idea that many times people on your planet have a little bit of an erroneous idea of what it means to serve the self. When you serve others, you are serving yourself. So if you understand the connection, and you're being yourself and acting as an example to others of what they could choose to experience for themselves, you are serving others by being yourself.
Yeah, so I get that, but even so, let's say they still choose to be upset over
What
that,
are you going to do about that? Force them to change?
No, but that still means that you're affecting them now.
No, you're not. It means they're choosing to affect themselves that way.
But by you performing the actions,
but they've attracted you into their lives, haven't they? Haven't they? Isn't it a co-creation?
I don't understand what you're saying.
It's not one-sided. If they have attracted someone into their lives who is living their truth, then some part of them wanted to see that, didn't they? Wanted to experience that, didn't they? Or they wouldn't have attracted you. They wouldn't even know you. They would never come across you. So obviously, even though they may deny that they want to see an example of someone living their truth. On a higher level, the only reason you could possibly be in their lives at all is if some part of them wanted to see someone living their truth, so that maybe over time they might ultimately remind themselves that they can do that too, not that they have to do it in the moment that they interact with you. But it's serving some purpose, even of theirs, that you're interacting. There are no accidents. It's all an orchestration. Now, they may deny it at first, but it's still an orchestration. You can't be there for no reason. You can't be interacting with them for no reason on their part. They are co-creating the experience, co-orchestrating the experience with you. You're not necessarily all getting the same thing out of it, but it's still an orchestration, it's still a co-creation, and it still serves some purpose for every party involved. So you're not forcing anything if you're just being yourself and you wind up being in their lives. They have also played their part in attracting someone like you into their reality. Let them deal with it. Yes?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you.
I just have another question, just out of curiosity.
Yes.
So what happens after your physical life on this planet? When you said the
You can
spirits
do
have
a lot
their
of
own,
things.
what do you do? What can you do?
Well, you can experience the idea of having another life. You can go and visit other dimensions. You can be born on another planet. Whatever you imagine.
But where are you? Are you
Here, in a different state. Remember, everything is here. It will appear to be somewhere else, but that's just appearance because of the different vibratory level. I'll put it to you this way, using the old analogy of your television. You're watching one program. That's a certain frequency. That's a certain experience, yes? Mm-hmm. You change the channel. Now you're watching another program. Totally different reality. It's in the same TV, isn't it? Mm-hmm. There you go. It's all in the same TV. It's all happening here and now, but it's on different frequencies. So when you're operating at a certain frequency, such as a certain non-physical reality frequency, it looks like, it appears like you're completely somewhere else. You're not. You're right here on a different frequency, having a different program.
So can spirits communicate with one another, and do they have emotion?
Of course they can.
And
more easily than you communicate. Because it's telepathic. There's no need for words there. They just know. They just send. You just know. You just receive.
Do they have emotion? Or
yes, but not exactly in the same way that you do. It's a much bigger idea. It's a much different expression.
Okay.
Well, you'll know when you get there. You'll understand. The closest analogy maybe we can make is if you have a dream and the dream is very real, yes? Mm-hmm. And you wake up in the morning and you go, wow, that was so real, but now I'm awake and this is who I really am. Death is similar. When you die, it's kind of like, oh, as real as that physical life was, that was a dream. This is who I really am. So the comparison is similar. Just as you can be very different in a dream, but it seems so real, and then you wake up and you go, well, no, this is really me. It's a similar kind of shift, where now the physical life, though you hold on to the experience, seems like a dream and fades in a sense, and now you kind of wake up into your real self, and you go, oh, right, I remember, this is who I really am. So it's sort of a similar feeling. And now you can go off and do whatever you imagine you would like to do, just as you do in physical life. But you have more access to more things on that level because you're not as bound by the concepts of space and time, because you're not operating within that particular dream framework anymore. You're operating in another one that's more expanded by definition.
Is the experience still an experience of continuity, similar to how we experience physical?
It can be, but the point is it doesn't have to be. You can create a very continuous experience. You can shift things instantaneously. That's part of not having the same space-time lag in non-physical reality. If you want to imagine in non-physical reality that there's a huge mansion or a huge mountain in front of you, it will instantly appear. And you can interact with it as solidly as you interact with any solid object in physical reality. But as soon as you think you would like something else there and imagine something else there, no time lag. Bang! Something else is there, or you're somewhere else.
And so what prevents us from manifesting that in physical reality?
The idea that you're in a time frame. The idea that it takes time to do things. the idea that you want to experience the process of change. Now, you're getting faster and faster as you remember more and more of who you are and get your vibration up higher, closer to non-physical reality. You'll experience manifestations faster and faster. But the whole point of physical reality and operating from a space-time framework is to actually experience things in a slower way so you can savor the process and the experience of creation and change, which is valid unto itself as an experience you can't have in spirit in the same way. It's all valid, just different ways of doing things. Does the snail actually think it's moving slowly? No. For itself, it's moving perfectly. But that's what a snail is. It's having a snail experience. It's not having a roadrunner experience. It's having a snail experience. A snail experience means you're going to move a little slower than most life forms on the earth, but that's okay. That's what it's about. So having a physical experience means you're going to experience some space and time. That's what it's about. It gives you time to appreciate things, time to savor things, time to learn, grow, change, discover yourself from a new perspective. If you only existed in a timeless state, nothing would change. You wouldn't grow. So you create this idea, you impose this idea on your consciousness of process, of change, of time and space. It's tools, it's the way you paint, it's colors on your palette. It's enriching your experience of yourself to have these colors on your palette instead of just one color. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I just have one more question. This is the last one. What happens if everyone adopts, I guess, the principles and heuristics that you provide?
Then you live like we do on our world. So you live in perfect synchronism.
Is that the ultimate, like...
No, it's not an ultimate. There are many other worlds and many other experiences. But generally speaking, you will experience more of what we experience. Your life will be perfect synchronism. So everything will happen in perfect timing.
And what if, in order to do that,
I thought you said that was the last question.
This is like okay.
Oh, this is the sneaky part 2?
This is like a part 2.
All right.
If everyone follows their highest excitement,
yes,
and two people follow their highest excitement, but it's contradictory.
Can't be. You have an incorrect definition of excitement. It can't be contradictory because being contradictory is not a definition of excitement. Look at a puzzle, a picture puzzle. Every single puzzle piece is a certain shape. Yes? But they all fit. So when you are the shape you truly are, you automatically fit with everyone else's shape if they're being the shape they truly are. You can't have a contradictory shape when you are truly the piece you are. So when you say, well, what if I'm following my excitement, but I can have a contradictory experience? You can't. You're having a different definition than a definition of excitement. That's a totally different experience. Following excitement and having a contradictory experience with someone else is not a definition of excitement. It's a different definition. Does that help?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.